Hey everyone, this is Hank from Connected in Motion on our very special episode of Cooking in Motion on Trip Edition. So I'm going to teach you guys how to make a really simple one pot recipe. So let's get started and let me show you the ingredients you're going to need. So starting out, you're going to need some water. A cup and a half is pretty good.
So when Hank says 1.5 cups, he really means 4.5, and add water as needed.
You're going to need some flavoring. So right here we have some chicken vegetable mix. So this is vegetarian and vegan friendly, I do believe. And this is also a veggie bouillon cube for just some little extra flavor. So getting into our main ingredients, here we have, this is a vegetable flake mix. It's all dehydrated from Bulk Barn. And it's basically some potato, some leek, some onion, some carrots, and some peas. So you're gonna get about a cup of that. And then here we have TVP, some textured vegetable protein. And you're gonna get about half a cup of that. And here we have some rice. And this rice is parboiled rice, so this takes about 15 to 20 minutes to make. And I like using this because the vegetables take around 15 minutes to rehydrate properly. So you can add the rice and the veggies together, and then when you have about five minutes left, you add the TVP, and away you go. And so what you're gonna need obviously is a stove and a cooking pot. So the order that you want to do this in is you're going to start by putting your rice and your veggies into your water, into your boiling water, and you're going to let that simmer for around 15 minutes, and then you're going to add your TVP. One final ingredient I forgot to mention is you need a great view, so make sure you got that, and then you should be good to go, good to get started. So this is what I'm going to use to measure out all my ingredients and the amount of water I'm going to use. I think this one is roughly about 2-ish cups, but just use something that you can kind of measure out in equal quantities. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is grab some water, toss some of the water in here. And I'm actually not going to measure the water specifically, I'm just going to pour it into the pot, because if you have more water you can always just boil the water off, and we're camping, so it doesn't really matter that much. So just to make things easier, we're going to pre-portion out our stuff into these little containers so that we can just pour it in when we need to. I'm going to pour my rice in there as well. Okay. So these measurements are not exact, but I'm just sort of feeling it out as I go. And now we're going to just pour out how much TVP we want in a separate container. So I don't want too much of that. Okay, so I've pre-portioned out the rice and the veggie mix. So the rice is actually underneath that. It's about 1/3 rice and 2/3 of the veggie mix. And we have just a little bit of the textured vegetable protein just to give a little bit of protein to the actual meal. And now we're going to get our stove started and get the water boiling and get everything together. Now that we have some boiling water, we're going to add in our vegetable flavor cube. Just drop that guy in there. And we're also going to add our rice and our vegetable mixture. Alright, let's give that a little stir. Very good. Alright, now we're going to let that cook for about 15 minutes. Drop the heat down a little bit on our stove. Let's cover that back up. Now you can add in the chicken flavoring now if you want, or you can wait till you add the TVP. I usually wait to add it with the TVP so that TVP can soak it up a little bit more and get a little flavor, but it's up to you. So if you're boiling a little too quickly like I am here, you can just add a little bit more water. so things don't cook too quickly. It's a little harder on a camp stove because there's not a lot of control you have with it. Alright, so before we put in our TVP, we're going to put in a pretty generous portion of this chicken flavoring, the veggie chicken flavoring. So I'm going to put in 3 spoons of it. And then we're going to take our TVP and put that in as well. Smells really good. We might need to add a little bit more water because of how quickly this is boiling off, which is fine. Just add the water you need to make it work. Okay, here we go. Just gonna add some more water to this. Great. And just be sure to give it a nice stir and get everything all mixed up. I can really smell that chicken flavor. Smells good. All right, so we've finished cooking our food and it looks really delicious. It smells really good too. So this is the finished dish. A little bit of water left in there, but that's okay. It'll still cook a little bit even after the stove is turned off. But there it is. 1 pot for a chicken veggie rice TVP meal. I don't really have a good name for it, but bon appetit.
Thanks, Hank, for taking over my show. But don't worry, I will be back next week on Cooking in Motion.